Good evening, everyone. Myself, Assistant Professor Preeti Matharu, member of Department of Accountancy and Financial Management. I hope that you all are keeping well. I would like to welcome you all to this intercollegiate workshop on income tax return filing organized by the Department of Accountancy and Financial Management of Bansangha's SM Shetty College of Science, Commerce and Management Studies. I would like to welcome Chairman of Powai Education Committee, Shri C.A. Shankar B. Shetty, Principal of our college, Dr. Sridhara Shetty, Principal and Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator Dr. Liji Santosh, Vice Principal and Head of Department of Accountancy and Financial Management Professor Sandesha Shetty, Vice Principal of Junior College Ms. Pratibha Gadgali, all the coordinators of the college, my colleagues and my dear participants. I extend a very warm welcome to you all. Our today's workshop is on ITR filing. ITR stands for Income Tax Return. Income tax return is a form in which taxpayers declare details of income, deductions, exemptions, and taxes payable on their taxable income. ITR helps one to claim tax deductions, tax refund. Also, ITR receipts helps while processing bank loan for visa applications and acts as an important document containing all details relating to income. Before we move ahead, I would request our principal sir, Dr. Sridhara Shetty, to address the audience. Over to you, principal sir.
Okay, thank you. Pleasant good evening to one and all. Going to attend this webinar. Respected Chairman of our Education Committee, CA Shankar B. Shetty, sir. Vice Principals of the college, Dr. Liji Santosh, Professor Sandesha Shetty. Vice Principal of Junior College, Ms. Pratibha Gadgali. Today's resource persons, our own faculty, CA Zainab Rangawala, Professor Komal Tiwari, Preeti Matharu, my colleagues, students, alumni, parents, and also teachers from other colleges. I think a total number of participation has crossed 200. Exactly 3-4 months ago, the Department of Accounting and Financial Management had organized one webinar, and that was how to compute income tax, a comparative analysis of old regime and new regime. Since the government has extended the deadline of filing the returns up to 31st December 2020, we thought of conducting this webinar. Last year, we did it in our IT labs. Many teachers from other colleges also participated. Our intention is to give a hands-on experience to our own students. In SM Shetty College, our total strength is 2,400, and out of which 1,200 students are from commerce background, BCom, BBI, BAF. And even other students also can learn because it is today purely technology driven. Step by step. Videos are also available so that we can try, we can practice. I think we can file our own income tax returns in the days to come. And I take this opportunity to appreciate the Department of Accounting and Financial Management for organizing this value-based webinar. And we do not have any doubt the right person for the inauguration is our own chairman, because chairman is from that background. A reputed, well-known corporate auditor having his own institution. Last time also, sir had inaugurated our old regime, new regime computation of income tax. So We need more than 1.5 hours to complete this webinar. So without wasting much time, I take this opportunity to extend a cordial welcome to our Chairman, Power Education Committee, C.A. Shankar B. Shetty, sir. Sir, I welcome you. I also take this opportunity to welcome our Vice Principals, Dr. Liji Santosh and Professor Sandesha Shetty, Vice Principal of the Junior College, Ms. Pratibha Gadgali, the resource persons of today's webinar, C.A. Zainab Rangawala, and also Professor Komal Tiwari, all the student participants, then our parents, alumni, and teachers from other colleges. One more thing is that we do such programs in our college. Even though it is not there in our syllabus, consciously and deliberately we do this because we believe in enrichment of the curriculum given by the university. And this is also an exercise taking the students beyond the curriculum. So therefore, this is really an value-added webinar, and I wish the resource persons, our own faculty, my colleagues, all the best to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wise words. Now I would request Shri C.A. Shankar B. Shetty, sir, Chairman, Powai Education Committee, to address the audience and inaugurate the session. Shankar, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for calling me for the inauguration of this very meaningful session today. The tax returns, the due date is, we all know, the 31st of December. I think this is the time everybody wants to know what exactly is the way, how we have to file the returns. There are various returns, you all know, 1 to 5 for different purposes and different slab rates. The speaker, especially C.A. Janab and Komal Tiwari, will be dwelling into that. And this year, one more thing, by organizing seminar, I think आप लोग हमारा business कम कर दिया. 230 people are attending, so I don't know much business. Needs to apply mind and know the subject very well. And I must appreciate our Department of Accountancy and Financial Management for organizing this relevant topic today. All 230 people must be from the teaching fraternity. Each one has to file the returns, clarify the sections properly, with the old regime and new regime, opting for new or old, whichever is beneficial, which is the shortest way of finding out which is best suited for the respective persons. If you ask me, I also don't know. That is the way it is. It is so.
I think the video is frozen.
The voice is also not audible.
For organizing this, Dr. Sridharanna and team, Janab and Komal Tiwari and Mataru, congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir.
I think for the participants, listen carefully what Janab and her team is explaining you, where you can
The voice,
Yeah.
I think he disconnected, or no, he is muted. I'll just unmute him.
I think Preeti, some network issue may be
Can
there.
you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
now
sir.
we
Yes,
can
sir.
hear you.
Now we can. Now we can. Yeah.
No, sir.
You know, I don't know if, how much you have heard from me. Especially, I'm telling you, the new regime and the old regime, new regime especially, then that segment up to 15 lakh, you know, opting for that, whichever is beneficial for you, that is very, very important. I think CA Janab and Tiwari explained that very properly to each one of them. I think now each one of you can file the returns yourself. You do not go to any consultants. Online, you know, all the details are there. You can go through and file yourself. Only you have to be careful about the selection, the new things.
Again, there is some network issue, I guess. Principal sir, I think he is got disconnected due to network issue.
Yeah.
Because-
Just a minute.
Yeah, I'll be.
Yeah.
Principal sir, why don't you call him and ask him to reconnect again?
Okay.
There is some network issue. Please continue.
Okay.
Sir, we are waiting for you, sir.
Yeah, please continue.
Yes.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shankar sir. We are lucky to have amongst us two resource persons for the day. Before I invite them to conduct the workshop, I would like to give a brief introduction about them. So our first resource person is Assistant Professor Komal Tiwari. She has a master's degree in both accountancy and management. She has qualified CA Inter and SET exam. She has a teaching experience of 10 years and has previously worked in the industry as senior tax consultant. Our next resource person for the day is Assistant Professor CA Zainab Rangwala. She has a master's degree in accountancy and is a qualified chartered accountant. Along with her professional practice, she took up teaching as a career and has devoted 15 years to education. Both our resource persons have participated in national international conferences and have been resource persons for numerous workshops, seminars, and webinars. This series of workshops on direct taxes have been successfully covered by Zainab ma'am and Komal ma'am through the Department of Accountancy and Financial Management for the past 3 years for different stakeholders. Before we begin with the technical session, I would request the participants to please put up any questions or queries in the chat box. Now I would request Komal ma'am to take over the technical session. Komal ma'am?
Yes, Pratima. Am I audible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. So today we are going to learn filing of income tax return. Now, filing of income tax return is a vast portion. Now, from that, we have selected ITR 1 with respect to salary. So we are going to learn today how we will file income tax return with respect to ITR 1, which is salary income. Now, basically dealing with these forms, ITR 1 deals with salary income. It also, if you are employed at one particular, with one particular employer during the year, you have one house property income, you have some other sources income, then filing of ITR 1, and if your total income is below 50 lakhs, then you can file ITR 1. If you are employed with multiple employees during the year and you have multiple house properties, then in that case, you will have to file ITR 2. ITR 3-4 is for business people and 5-6-7 is all for companies. So today, I will be covering these 3 processes. Step 1, in the first process, we are going to learn the steps to be followed for login. In the second process, we will learn the steps to be followed for downloading of ITR 1, which is also known as Sahaj. And step 3 will be shared by me and Zainab ma'am, where we will be showing you how to file the ITR return. Step 1. So once we have to file our return, we have to log in and we have to enter this particular website, which is www.incometaxindiaefiling.gov.in, which is highlighted over here. So incometaxindiaefiling.gov.in is the website where you have to go. And here you can see this login button is there. So you have to click on this login button. When you click on this button, this screen will appear. Now in this screen, you can see it is asking you for user ID. It is asking you for the password and some CAPTCHA will be there. Now, user ID is basically your PAN number. PAN number is everything in capital. So it is alphanumeric PAN number, which is there in your PAN card. You have to enter that PAN number over here. Password will be the combination of special characters, small case letters and alphabets, and lowercase and uppercase alphabets will be there, and some numbers will be. Some combination of that you have to decide as your password if you have not yet decided. And in that case, then you will have to register. That is altogether a different process. So we are here talking about the login. So I assume you already have created your password. You have to enter your password over here, and you have to enter the CAPTCHA code which will be available, and then you have to log in. So after login, this is the first page which will appear in front of you. So this is the first page after login, which you will be able to see. Now here you can see at the top, this is downloads. This downloads button, just at the top, you can see the first button is downloads. So you have to click on this downloads button. When you click over here, you get this screen. Once again, I'll show. When you click this download button over here, you get this screen. Now, this screen here, you will have the options. Yeah, this will be clear. So you will have the options over here. You can see it is self-explanatory. It also, to some extent, describes who can fill ITR 1 and ITR 2, what are the requirements accordingly. If you want to know everything in much detail, then you can also read these instructions, which is in a PDF file over here. Instructions, a PDF file is there, which gives you the instruction about who can fill which kind of form. So here we are talking about the ITR 1. So this Microsoft Excel, you can see there are 2 versions. There is Excel and there is Java. You will download the Microsoft Excel version because that will be easier for us to fill and it does not require any extra software. So Microsoft Excel, this particular button here, this green one, you will click over here. Once you click this, a WinRAR file, a WinZip file will be downloaded. And in that WinZip file, you will have to extract. And after extracting this Excel sheet, you will be able to see. This will be the Excel sheet in front of you. This is the form ITR 1 Sahaj, you can see, for the assessment year 2021. Now, before learning about the form and how to fill the form and all that process, so here we have completed 2 processes till now. We have completed the login process. We have completed the downloading process. Now we will start with the 3rd process, which is filling up of this form and uploading it. So here, before going through the form, let us understand some basic points about it. Now you can see here, there are various colors. You can see some cells are in green, some are in white, some fonts in black, some fonts in red color. Similarly, moving ahead with the form, you will find some fonts in blue as well. So what is the importance of these colors? So green is operative cell where data has to be entered manually. So you can enter the data manually in the green cell. Gray is inoperative cell where data cannot be entered manually as the cell is inactive. So if you try to enter or try to put some data on the gray cell, message, you will get a pop-up message that this cell is inoperative. You cannot enter the data on that particular cell. Cells with the red fonts, data entry is mandatory. So wherever it is red, now here you can see last name is there, PAN number is there, date of birth is there. So all these are in red color. So the red color indicates the data is mandatory. You have to enter a proper data, and without entering that particular data, your form will not be considered to be complete. Then blue fonts data is automatically calculated or included by the system. And here you cannot enter the data manually, or you cannot correct the data manually. Okay, so it is the data will be calculated by the system itself. So now let's see the form. I will stop sharing this. I will share the other screen. Can you see this form, Excel sheet? Is this Excel sheet visible, Preeti ma'am?
I can see.
No, madam, Excel sheet is not visible.
It is the folder, just the folder.
Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am, still the form is visible.
Yes, it is visible. The Excel sheet is visible.
Yeah, okay, fine. So now here you can see these kind of Excel sheet. Now, once you double click on Excel sheet to open it, you will get this message. This is the first message instruction rather, which you will get, that green cells are for data entry. Red labels indicate mandatory fields. Caution, do not use Control X, Control V or cut copy paste while data entry. So cut copy paste, any kind of cut copy paste, if you do in this particular form, it will not allow you to do that. Or the form will get manipulated. Just so here you can see these are the red fields: last name, PAN number, date of birth. I will have to enter my proper PAN number. It should be in capital letters. Date of birth, which is in DDMMYYYY form. So I will have to enter the data accordingly. Then area or locality, flat number, block number is compulsory. Name of the premise is not compulsory. Then area, locality, town, district, state, I will have to select from this drop down. Country, once I select the state, country gets automatically updated over here. Then PIN code and nature of employment. So now starting from here, this is nature of employment. So say for example, either you are a central government employee, state government, public sector undertaking, or others. So we will select others. Now here it is asking me, are you filing the return of income under the 7th proviso to section 139 subsection 1, but otherwise not required to furnish the return of income. So this is basically applicable for those people who have during the year these kind of transactions, these 3 transactions, if you have done during the year, but otherwise your income is below the taxable limits, then in that particular case, I will have to select yes. Now, right now you can see these cells below these are gray. That means the cells, gray cells are inoperative cells. Once I select yes, you will see they have turned into green, because then I will have to mention what I have done during the year because of which I have been covered under this section. So generally, the answer here will be no. Okay. Then it is asking me for the email address, for the mobile number. So I will have to enter proper email address and mobile number. And then it is asking, under what section am I filing my return? Am I filing my return under section 139.1, 139.4, or 139 subsection 5? So basically these three sections, generally we file the return before the due date. So it is always 139 subsection 1. But sometimes if we file the returns after the due date, then it is belated return. And if it is revised return, say for example, previously I filed the return, but there was some mistake in that. And because of which I wish to file the return again or rectify my mistakes myself, then in that particular case, I can file the revised return. So I have three options, but generally it is 139.1. Then moving ahead. Okay. Now, once I have selected this, here it starts with the salary, okay, gross salary income. Now, before starting this particular section, I would like to show you something. So I will share the other screen with you. So here, you can see this. This is your Form 16, which you get from your employer, Form 16. And this is the image of the form, which we are filling right now. So here you can see the sequence of item is same. Gross salary is there in your Form 16 also. It is there in the form. It is then salary as per provisions, section 17, subsection 1. Here also you can see that. Then it is value of perquisites. Here also it is value of perquisites after that. Profit in lieu of salary, profit in lieu of salary. Then here there is allowances. Here also there is allowances. Then deductions under section 16. Here also there are deductions under section 16 after the allowances. So what I'm trying to show you here is, if you have the Form 16 with you in front of you, filling this form yourself will be easy for you, because you just have to take the amount from your Form 16 and fill the data over here. So if you show your investments and all the details properly to your employer, then it will be easy for you to file your returns yourself, okay? Especially with Form Sahaj, it will be easy for you to file your returns. So the sequence of item is same. So considering this, we will just have to refer the items from our Form 16 and fill the data over here. So here, it's starting with the gross salary. So I will have to enter the gross salary. Say, for example, I will take the amount to be 7 lakhs. So you can see this blue cell. If I try to interfere or I try to enter something, it shows the cell or chart you're trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make the changes, you have to enter the password. And what password it is a password created by the person who has created all this sheet. So we people cannot change it. Okay, so we don't have option to enter the data over there. Okay, then say for example, entering 0 is not compulsory. If I don't enter anything, it is taken to be 0. Okay, then coming to the allowances, here it clearly says that allowances to the extent exempt under section 10. So you have to write the amount which is exempt under section 10. So say for example, we will take one example of gratuity. Say for example, a retired person who has received gratuity of 1 lakh, and out of which 50,000 is the amount which is exempt. So I'm writing the exempt amount over here. And next example, we will take, say for example, it is HRA, house rent allowance. So say for example, around 80,000. Do not annotate. Okay. Okay. So now, say for example, 80,000 is the amount of the house rent allowance, so that I have entered. And you can see in the blue cells, the calculation is done automatically. Some amounts have been calculated over there. So my salary was 7 lakh, out of which I am telling that 1 lakh 30, 80 plus 50, that is 1 lakh 30 is the exempt amount. So it is automatically getting deducted, and my taxable salary, it is showing as that salary as 5 lakh 70,000. Now, since I told you in this form, if you have a single employer during the year, that means you have worked at one particular place throughout the year, then you can fill this form, and because of which it will not give you the add option. Otherwise, here somewhere there is a button to add that is available in ITR 2. ITR 2 will allow you to do that. ITR 1 is not giving you that option, because here it clearly says one employer and house property also should be only one. So now income from house property, okay, basically here profession tax, say for example, during the year 2,500. Now, one more thing I would like to tell you, we have selected as the employer, we have selected here others category. We have selected others. We have not selected the government. And because of which this cell over here is inoperative. You can see this green cell over here, which is inoperative, entertainment allowance, because entertainment allowance deduction is available only for the government employees. So say for example, 2,500 I have returned as profession tax. So this is my total income, total salary. Now coming to house property. House property income is divided into two categories. House property is basically of two types. Either it is self-occupied, that means you have your house and you are yourself staying in that, or it is let out. That means you have a house property and you have given that house on rent to someone. So we will first see the first category, which is self-occupied. So self-occupied house property. Here, since it is self-occupied, I don't have any, I'm not earning any income out of it. I am myself staying in that. I'm not earning any income. And because of which GAV, gross annual value, gross rent received, is a gray column over here. And also the municipal taxes paid on that, it is also a gray column. It is only allowing you to enter the amount of interest paid on loan borrowed. So whatever loan I have borrowed for the house property, I can enter that amount. So say for example, I have entered 2,25,000. See, it gives a message that for self-occupied property, your loss from house property cannot be more than interest borrowed cannot be more than 2 lakhs. So I cannot enter the amount more than 2 lakhs. I will have to enter maximum amount of 2 lakh over here. Okay. Then arrears of rent, say for example, if there are no arrears of the rent. So this was the example of the first case where I have assumed my house property is self-occupied. And here you can see the income from house property is minus 2 lakhs because there is no income earned from the house property, but the interest on loan is paid. So because of which it is a negative income, which is a loss. Now say for example, I assume the second situation where your house is let out. So let out. Now you will see the cells below this were gray earlier. Now they have turned into green. So now I can enter the data over here. So gross rent received or receivable. So say for example, I have earned the rent of rupees 2 lakh, maybe 3,50,000. So 3,50,000. Taxes paid, that is property tax, which we generally pay. So it is, say for example, 2,500. So here, now if I enter the amount, now this low interest on house property, say for example, I will enter 2,25,000. See, now it is allowing me to enter the amount. Now there is no any message from the system, because in case of let out property, any amount of interest which I pay is allowed as deduction. And because of which I can enter the amount even above rupees 2 lakhs. Okay. Now, say for example, other source, coming to the income from other sources. So other sources, I have the income from interest from savings bank account. So interest from savings bank account, say for example, I have earned rupees 8,000. Okay, I have earned rupees 8,000 as interest from savings bank account. Next, say for example, any other. So I will try to enter any other. Now you can see it is asking me for the description. This cell has turned green. It is asking me for description. So say for example, I am writing over here, dividend from foreign company. Say for example, I have earned a dividend from foreign company during the year rupees 5,000. So you can see this calculations have been done automatically. My gross total income is already calculated automatically. It is getting calculated. It is a sum total of the income from salary, income from house property, and income from other sources. So it comes to rupees 5,48,050 rupees. Now it is asking me over here. Now we are moving to the deductions part. Now it is asking, before moving to the deductions, it is asking me here that whether I have done any kind of investment between 1/4/2020 to 31/7/2020. Now this particular, I mean, otherwise we are supposed to invest till 31st of March only. And if we invest it after 31st of March, that is April, May, June, then it is to be taken for the next year. But considering the pandemic situation, since the date for the filing of return has also been extended, this particular benefit is there that if you have invested till July, 31st July, you have the option to select where you want to show that particular amount, whether you want to show it for the assessment year 2021 or you want to show it in the assessment year 21-22. Okay, so that is the option available. So say for example, if I say yes, that is I want to show that deduction in this year only. Okay. ATC, basically, we all know it covers the life insurance premium, it covers the principal amount of home loan which we are paying, and then it also includes the tuition fees, provident fund, annuity and mutual funds and all that. So say for example, I try to enter 2 lakhs over here. You can see here it is taking 1,50,000 because we know ATC ka maximum deduction is 1,50,000. So I will not show 2 lakh, I will show 1 lakh. There is a reason behind it. Okay, so I'm showing 1 lakh only. Okay, ADCCC, say for example, towards pension. So say for example, I will show 1 lakh here. Again, you can see it has taken 1 lakh completely of ATC. CCC ka, it is taking only 50,000 because ATC, ATCCC sum total should not exceed 1,50,000. Now, coming to the next section, which is ATCCD1. So it is basically contribution to pension scheme of central government. It is available for the salaried and the self-employed people who have contribution towards NPS. And the ceiling limit over here is 1,50,000. Now we will try to see, say for example, I have certain contributions towards it. So I will take 25,000. See, it is taking 0. Why? Because this total of these 3 should not be more than 1,50,000, and because of which it is not adding it up. Now, say for example, next contribution to pension scheme of central government. Now this is the another pension scheme. Again, here it is available for the salaried people as well as the self-employed people. And here deduction is up to rupees 50,000. So say for example, 25,000 I will try to enter here also. Now you can see it has taken this amount. Now why it has taken this amount? Because this deduction of ATCCD 1B is over and above the limit of 1,50,000. So ये तीनों का मिला के इधर 1,50,000 हो गया, उसके ऊपर ही हुआ है. फिर भी this is out of the bracket of that, and because of which it is allowing me to take the additional deduction. And the limit over here is 50,000. So even if I try to put the amount beyond 50,000, it will not allow me. It is taking only 50,000. Okay, next. So this is also another scheme So this is for the employer's contribution. So say for example, employer's contribution is 25,000. Okay. Now coming to the section 80D, it is Mediclaim. We all know Mediclaim, very important part of the life today in present scenario. Okay. Say for example, whether you or any of your family member, excluding parents, is a senior citizen. So I will select no. Okay. Then health insurance. Say for example, I have 20,000 ka health insurance, and I have preventive health checkup. Now, preventive health checkup is a vital thing for today in today's world, because we should, after 35 years of age, we should check ourselves at least once or twice a year, and because of which preventive health checkup expense is allowed as deduction. And this is mode of payment can be anything. Even cash payment is allowed over here. 20,000 Mediclaim which I pay should be in should not be in cash. It can be in check, or it can be through internet banking. But in this preventive health checkup, I can pay in cash also. That is allowed. Now, whether your parents are senior citizens, so I will select yes. Now, it is asking me how much is the health insurance. So say for example, for my parents, I have health insurance of 53,000. I will take it. Okay. And preventive health checkup for them, I have incurred the expenditure of 6,000. See, it gives me a message that you and your parents combined together, preventive health checkup is available 5,000. So since I have claimed 5,000 for myself, I cannot again put the amount over here. And though I have a Mediclaim of 53,000 for my parents, it is taking 50,000 only, because that is the maximum amount of deduction which is available. So 50,000 and 25,000 for myself comes together, clubbed together. It is taking 75,000 ka deduction. Now this amount 75,000 will automatically be taken over here. You can see here, it is in blue. So human intervention is not allowed. The amount has been taken by the system. Now 80DD is basically for the dependent person who is handicapped. So this disability is divided into two categories. If it is a disability or it is a severe disability. Severe disability is when your 80% of the main organs like heart, lungs, kidney and all, if the 80% of your organs are not functioning properly, then it is severe disability. Okay. So if it is disability, you can claim the ad hoc amount of 75,000. And if it is severe disability, you can claim the amount up to rupees 1,25,000. If there is some dependent in the family, it may be your, say for example, children or somebody else who is handicapped and who is dependent on you. 80DD is basically for the medical treatment of specified disease. Now, which are the specified diseases? Basically, these diseases are, say for example, neurological disorder. 40% of your, you have more than 40% neurological disorder, or there is a chronic cancer, or it is HIV/AIDS. Even Corona was supposed to be covered over here, but it was not included by the government. So Corona is not included in this particular list. Now, say for example, 80DD for self or dependent, 1,000. So your maximum amount available is 40, and that is why it is taking only 40,000 deduction. 80E is basically loan on higher education. So if I have taken any loan for higher education of myself, my spouse, my children, I can take the benefit of this. Any interest paid on that loan up to the period of 8 years, I can take the advantage of it. I can put the amount here. Then 80EE is interest on loan taken for residential house property. Now, this is basically with respect to the house property purchased between 1/4/2016 to 31st March 2017. And the value of the house property should not be more than 50 lakhs. And in that particular case, हाउस प्रॉपर्टी आई टोल्ड यू सेल्फ ऑक्यूपाइड में ऊपर हमने देखा था कि 2 लाख से ज्यादा का हमको वो अलाउ नहीं कर रहा था इंटरेस्ट पेड दिखाने के लिए. तो अबव द लिमिट which is there under section 24, this is over and above that. So Here you can claim up to 1,50,000. So 2 lakh you can claim in under section 24, and 1,50,000 you can claim here. Okay. So this is 50,000. 80EE is 50,000. 80EA is 1,50,000. So here, if you have purchased the house between 1/4/2019 to 31st March 2020, you can take the advantage of 80EA, provided you are not taking the advantage of 80EE, then you can take the benefit of 80EA. And here the valuation of house should not exceed rupees 45 lakhs. In that case, the benefit available is up to 1,50,000. This is for purchase of electric vehicle. Now, basically, government wants to combat the pollution, and because of which it is promoting the purchase of electric vehicle. So if you purchase the electric vehicle, whatever interest you pay on that, you will be getting advantage of it. You can claim the deduction on that. 80GG. Okay. Now coming to donations. So again, you can see it is a link over here. If I go to this link, it takes me to the next page. So donations, say for example, this is 100%. Now there are a lot of things in donations. So say for example, I have during the year Pradhan Mantri Relief Fund, I have given any kind of donation. Then in that case, I will have to enter the entire amount, entire details over here. What is the name of the donee, the address, the city, the town, state code, pin code, PAN number of the donee, and this PAN number has to be correct. If there is any mistake in this particular case, it will not allow me to take the claim the donation. So I will not be able to claim the donation. Donation in cash, donation in any other mode. So total amount is getting calculated automatically, and that will be reflected in our page automatically. Okay. Then next is 80GG, rent paid. So rent paid is basically you can take the advantage of 80GG if you are not getting the benefit of HRA. Then in that case, you can take the advantage of 80GG. Okay, donations for scientific research. Again, this will take me to the next page where I will, if I have done any kind of donations to the scientific for the scientific research purposes, I can claim that. Then donation to political party. So I simply have to enter the amount over here. 80TTA basically deals with the interest on savings banks account. So if you remember, here we have put interest from savings bank. You can see this. This particular, we have claimed the amount. We have shown 8,000 as the amount of interest received on savings bank account. Now, say for example, here I try to put the amount of rupees 10,000. I'm doing the cheating. I'm showing the income of 8,000. I'm claiming the deduction of 10,000. Now let us see what happens. See here, this form is so smart. It is taking 8,000 only. It is taking 8,000 only because 8,000 is the amount of interest received which I have shown. So I cannot claim anything more than that. I can claim less. If say for example, if I claim a deduction of 6,000, it will simply change to 6,000. So you can see how smart this software is. It can allow me to take less amount of deduction, but it will never allow me to take the deduction beyond a certain limit. So let us put 8,000 only. So 8,000. Okay, 80TTB is basically for the senior citizens. So say for example, I am putting 23,000. Okay, still it is taking 8,000 only because amount of interest which I have shown is 8,000 only, and I will not put simply when you fill the form, when you write the date of birth over here. In this form, we have not put all these data, and because of which form ने amount ले लिया, otherwise वो amount नहीं लेता. यहाँ पे once I put my date of birth, I will put my year. This system will come to know that what is my age, that I'm not senior citizen, and then this particular column will turn gray. 80TTB will turn gray. Okay. So I'm not putting the amount over here. 80U is basically for the person who himself is handicapped and who has, again, this particular disability is divided in two categories. It is either disability or a severe disability. So accordingly, you can put the amount. If it is severe disability, 1,25,000. If it is disability, it is 75,000. So after all these deductions, you can see it is showing the total income These are the total of deductions which I have claimed, and this is the income. This was my gross total income. If you can see here, it was calculated automatically. This is my gross total income, 5,48,050. From this particular amount, total of deductions, which is 4,23,000 has been deducted, and the balance of 1,25,015 has been shown over here. Okay. So with this, I would complete my part, and from here, Zainab ma'am will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Komal ma'am. Please allow me a moment to share my screen. Yeah, taking forward from where Komal ma'am left us. So Komal ma'am has thankfully brought us to understanding of gross total income. Over here, we have a figure, gross total income, which is a combination of three figures: income from salary, income from house property, and income from other sources. And from that, all the available deductions are subtracted. Now, we go ahead from here. This column over here represents your exempt income. So if you have any agricultural income, or if you have received dividend on any shares, please remember dividend, not interest or income from mutual funds. So there are certain dividends which are exempted. Whatever exempted means that that income shall not be considered for the purpose of taxation. You receive the income, it is your white income, but for the purpose of taxation, it shall not be included in your total income. You have to just disclose those numbers over here. You have to write where you got that income from and the amount of the income. It is mandatory to disclose, though these numbers will not come into calculation anywhere. So on on total income, we will apply our slab rates. Now, before I go any ahead, we have a general understanding that slab rate till 5 lakh rupees, there is no tax. That is the general illusion that people have. But let me tell you that the slab for tax starts at 2,50,000. Up to 2,50,000, there is no tax. From 2,50,000 to 3 lakh rupees for general people who are not senior citizen, it is 5%. From 3 lakh to 5 lakhs, it is again 5%. From 5 lakh to 10 lakh, it is 20%. For 10 lakh and above, it is 30%. But now there is this one provision over here, which is called rebate under section 87A. This rebate is given to those individuals, only individuals, whose taxable income is less than 5 lakh rupees. If you're earning less than 5 lakh rupees, then the 5% tax that you have to pay from 2,50,000 to 5 lakh rupees of income, which comes to 12,500, that amount of rebate means not applicability of tax is given to you. So that much will not be applied to you. So now, because till the moment you earn 5 lakh and 1 rupee, you earn that 1 rupee more, 5 lakh and 1, that rebate is not available to you. So that is why, because this rebate is there, it is an illusion in the mind of people that till 5 lakhs, you do not pay any tax. So we have clarified this, that the slab rate starts from 2,50,000. Moreover, there is a different slab rate for senior citizen and very senior citizen. There is a cross-referencing in the form. Over here, when you type your date of birth, it is a mandatory field. When you type your date of birth, it automatically calculates whether you are a general citizen, a senior citizen, or a very senior citizen. And the slab rate is applied automatically to this gross total income, to this net total income, and you get your tax payable. It is auto-generated. So we have understood what is going to be our tax payable. On that tax payable, we are going to get a rebate, and we will subtract that, we will get tax after rebate. On tax after rebate, you will pay 4% health and education cess. Health and education cess, even on 1 rupee worth of tax, you will pay 4% of health and education cess. Please remember, health and education cess is on your tax amount. It is not on your income. So you will get your total tax and cess payable. Now, after this, we shall be calculating relief. Now, this section is not very well talked about, is not very well known in the masses. It is a little hidden section. People don't know about it much. So you get a relief under section 89(1) in case when you were supposed to get some income in a particular year, but that income was deferred to you, not given to you that time, and it is given to you in a later year. Now, in the year in which that income was due to you, salary was supposed to be given to you, you were in a lesser slab rate. Say you were in a 10% slab rate. This year, you have come into a 30% slab rate, and that income is credited to your account this year. Now, just because you are in a higher slab rate, that income which is received by you gets taxed at a higher slab rate, which is absolutely not fair. For those kind of situations, relief is available under section 89(1). To get relief, you have to compulsorily fill this form. The form is 10E. So you have to fill the form as to which year's income you have received and how much was the tax rate and differential. So you get a tax benefit over here. Now, this relief will be very applicable, practically applicable next year probably, because during this COVID period right now, many people have got salary cuts, deferred salary. That means 20% is not given right now. It will be accumulated and given at a later date. Now, when at a later date, that entire chunk comes together, you will definitely fall into a higher tax bracket. So to reduce your tax burden over there, you can take benefit of this section 89(1). So coming back to this, we have a total cess. You reduce your relief, whatever it is, and you will get the balance tax liability. To this balance tax, there are 3 types of interest that will be added. To the balance tax that we have calculated here, 3 types of interest will be added. First interest is section 234A. Now, 234A is charged when you file your income tax return late. So income tax return due date right now is 31st December 2020. You do not file till 31st December. You file in, say, February. So you have filed 1 month and a few days late in February, so it will be considered 2 months. So you will pay interest for the delayed filing of return under section 234A at the rate 1% per month, simple interest. Now, as that is about 234A. 234B interest is paid for short payment of income tax, short payment of advance tax. Now, first thing, let us understand what is advance tax. Our tax design is such, the income tax design is such that whenever you earn income, you keep paying tax as you keep earning income. So my year starts on 1st April. So from 1st April till my first installment is due on 15 June of advance tax. So I'm supposed to calculate that first, how much did I earn? On that, I will calculate and I will pay. So 15% of my entire tax of the whole year should be paid by 15 June. Then the second installment of advance tax is due on 15 September. So 45% of my annual tax should be paid by 15th of September. Now, next installment due in 15 December, a couple of days from today. So I have to project my tax for the entire year and make sure that 75% of the tax is paid by 15th of December. Then next installment of advance tax is due on 15th of March. And I have to make sure that the entire tax is paid by, entire advance tax is paid 100% by 15th of March. So now whenever there is any shortfall in payments, then interest will be charged at 1% per annum on the differences. That will go under the section 234B. 234C will be deferment of advance tax. You do not pay 15%. You just decide that, okay, abhi nahi hai paisa, abhi nahi bharna hai. Why should I pay tax? Or for whatever reason you have not paid. then whatever amount has been deferred on advance tax. So B and C both pertain to advance tax. Now, if you see 234F, 234F is not interest, it is fees. I repeat, 234F is not interest, but it is fee. Now, this fee that we are talking about, this fee is payable for when you do not, it is a flat fee. It is a kind of a penalty, if you can understand better. It is like a flat fee that you have to pay for non-filing of ITR. You're supposed to file your ITR by 31st December. For any reason you do not file, then this is a flat charge that you have to pay, flat fee that you have to pay. Over here, there is a slab rate which ranges from 1,000 to 10,000. Flat, there is no percentage ya kuch bhi nahi. There is a slab and so flat. So 234A and 234F, 234A is for interest on late filing and 234F is for non-filing. So this is one criteria where you should absolutely not try to fall into. The tax that you're paying along with cess is sufficient amount of charge on your income. You should not try to fall into these criteria. So with this total, you will get the tax that you have to pay. The total tax that you have to pay. So when you come to row number 17, this shows you the total calculation of tax that the government, you have to pay to the government. Now the question is, how have you paid this amount? Say this amount comes to 80,000 rupees. You have shown your entire income. You have shown all your tax calculations. You have to pay 80,000. Now the question is, how do you pay 80,000? You come to the next point 18 over here, which shows you the next point, that 18, that shows you how you have paid. The first way of paying taxes, that as we are seeing this return, Sahaj, is for individuals who have salary income. So whenever you have salary income, then your employer shall deduct tax from your salary, and that tax will be deposited by the employer into the government treasury under your PAN number. So whenever the employer deposits the tax, you will keep getting messages on your mobile. Tax for your first quarter is so much. Tax for your second quarter is so much. Tax for your third quarter is so much. So this tax that the employer has deducted all across the year and deposited under your name, he will give you a salary certificate or a TDS certificate saying that he has deducted this much tax and given to you. That certificate is called Form 16. Form 16 is only given for TDS deducted on salary. TDS deducted on salary, which we normally get from our employer. Usually it comes in 4 parts only, 4 quarters. You have to mention complete detail. The TAN number of your employer, name of your employer, the income over here, and the tax deducted. Now, if you see income over here, this again has a cross-reference. The gross salary that you have declared over here in your statement of income, this gross salary, this has a cross-reference over here in this income chargeable under the head salary. So there is a cross-reference. Neither of the two figures can be different. Both have to be the same. So you will get this total tax deducted. This has to be copied exactly from Form 16. There is another form. In case there are more installments, there is a button available over here, add rows. You can keep adding as many rows, but unless each and every column information is filled, it will not accept it. Now, next, coming to another form, you have Form 16A. Now, Form 16A is for any income, usually income other than salary, like you have kept a fixed deposit with a bank. Now, bank will give you interest on that. That interest is income in your hand. So bank will deduct tax on the interest portion, not principal. On the interest portion, put the remaining interest, give the remaining interest to you, and the TDS it will deposit with the government. So this, the certificate that the bank will give you on that is called a Form 16A. There is a usual misunderstanding that this is Form 16 or 16A, or this is Form 16 or 16A. Only 16 is your salary certificate. 16A is certificate that you get from the bank. Do not confuse both of them. 16A bank will give you. Now over here, there will be the TAN number of the deductor, your name of the deductor, gross receipt, then year of the deduction, tax deducted. And over here is the column for your TCS, tax credits. All this will be given in that certificate. It is simple copy. You have to copy the amounts. Next, TDS certificate. These TDS is a way of paying the tax. So we decided in our earlier statement that under row 17, that total amount of tax will be either paid by TDS or by advance tax or by self-assessment tax. If you have given your property on rent, then your tenant will deduct tax and give you rent. So when your tenant deducts tax for you, he will give you this certificate, Form 16C. Form 16C, so tax is deducted by the tenant by the provisions of Section 194 IB. He will file Challan 26QC with the government and then you will get credit. So your tenant will give you this certificate. Form 16 will be given by the employer. Form 16A will be given by your banker where you have income from other sources. Form 16C will be given by your tenant. You have a house which you have given on rent. You are receiving rent. So your tenant will give you this certificate. All the details you have to mention, PAN number, tenant name, gross amount, tax deducted and everything, all the details. Unless, as Komal ma'am has explained, all the red fields are mandatory. Unless you disclose all of them, it will not accept. And this last column that we have over here is for our advance tax payment. As I briefed you earlier, there are 4 installments of advance tax on 15 June, 15 September, 15 December, and 15 March. On each of these 4 days, when you have deposited tax, your BSR code, date of deposit, DDMMYY, the serial number of the challan by which you have deposited, and the amount of tax paid, you can write over here. Over here, you also write something called self-assessment tax. Self-assessment tax is when you file your return and you understand that tax liability is yet pending, whatever amount is pending. Say you have this in your statement of income over here, you have understood that this tax payable over here at the last, right at the bottom is 5 lakh rupees. Your TDS, your advance tax, everything put together is only 4,80,000. So 20,000 you have to yet pay. That 20,000 you will pay yourself before filing your return. That will be called self-assessment tax. For the self-assessment tax also, you will write this. Now there is one more form that I would like to give you a reference to. That form is called Form 26 AS. Now what does Form 26 AS do? It is like generally the report card, how we give our students. It has all the subjects written. It has all the marks, internal marks, practical marks, external exam marks, whatever, all details of entire marks is written. So Form 26 AS is like the report card of the tax for you. So once you log in into the income tax website, over there you download your Form 26A. So how much ever tax you have paid or has been paid in your name by way of TDS or advance tax or SA tax, whatever form of tax has been paid, everything will be displayed over there. So that is the report card. You know how much tax has been paid in your name. That is a cross-referencing when, like, you know, when your employer says that he has paid tax for you, you check in Form 26 AS, it will reflect that yes, he has paid tax for you. With this understanding, we go ahead a bit. Now, there is also something called tax collected at source, TCS. Tax deducted at source and tax collected at source. Form 27D is the certificate for TCS. So from 27D, please remember the form numbers. They're very vital. You have to know which number goes where. So Form 26 AS, Form 27D is your TCS certificate. TCS certificate, you will get tax collected at sources when there is a sale and you have collected tax at the time. So you will give information about the amount, your collection, your gross payment, the year of collection, the tax amount collected, and the amount of credit claimed, how much has been over here. All the details will be mentioned over here. This total will give you your taxes Now, when we total up all this, again, this will be auto-generated from the form. You have your total advance tax paid, the total TDS that you're claiming, total of your Form 16s, the total TCS that you're claiming, total tax collected at source, and the self-assessment tax that you have paid. Everything comes cross-referencing from here directly. This will give you the total tax that you have paid, sum total of all these figures. I cannot show you any numbers over here because it is not a green column where you can enter details. As Komal ma'am has also explained, the blue figures, the blue details are auto-generated. So once you link it with your PAN number, these numbers will come automatically. After that, you have to fill in the bank details. Now over here, earlier years, even if you give your one bank account where you want your tax to be credited was okay. But you have to mention over here now as many number of bank accounts you have. So whether you have an account in your personal name, or you have account in your joint name with your spouse, or you have an account with your child, a minor. If there is any bank account in which your name is there, that account details, IFSC code, name of the branch, account number, everything has to be mentioned over here. And from this whole list of 5-7 accounts, how many ever accounts you hold, you can keep adding rows over here. You select the account in which you want your refund to be credited. Please remember, refund will be given electronically only. So with this, you come to your verification. Now over here, once you write your name in your income statement, right on top, we gave personal details, your first name, middle name, last name. So that will come directly over here. This will be your own name, daughter of, this will be your parents' name. Furnish return in the capacity of, either you can furnish return for yourself, or in case you're a representative assessee, you're filing return for somebody else, you can select. Usually it will be self only. Then your permanent account number over here and the date. Supposing you're filing return through a tax practitioner or chartered accountant or any other tax practitioner, then you may voluntarily write their details over here. It is not compulsory. You can see it is not a red field, it is a black field. If you wish, you want to give the details, you may write the details over here, the identification of the tax practitioner, his number and all. So before end with this, your entire form is filled. Now before ending, I would just like to give you a tip that when you sit to fill your form, your IT form, you should keep a couple of things very handy because you need all these numbers time and again. First thing, you need to keep your PAN number. You need to keep all your TDS certificates, Form 16, 16A, 16C, if you have 27D, that. The advance tax that you have paid, nowadays we pay online only, so you may have a soft copy as well. The essay tax challan that you have paid, your bank statements, Aadhaar card, the Form 26AS that you have downloaded, and whatever investment proofs you have. All this you should sit together and file the return once and for all. I hope things are clear, and all of us will be able to file our return hopefully before 31st December. If there are any questions, I would like to take them. Preeti ma'am, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Zaina ma'am and Komal ma'am, for giving a wonderful detailed explanation of the ITR. There are few questions in the chat box. I'll take up those and request to the participant that if you have any more questions, please put up in the chat box. So I'll read out the question. It's a bit long question. I'll try to explain it to you. Ma'am, I booked a flat in the month of August 2019 by paying a token amount of 15 lakhs. I have not yet signed the agreement. Now, in my Form AS26, the transaction of TCS is reflected, wherein total amount paid is 15 lakhs and 15,000 is shown as TCS deposited. So my question is, do I need to show this anywhere in my returns in ITR1, or I should not do anything and it's the builder who will claim the credit of TCS and I don't have to do anything? Please clarify.
No, if there is a TCS certificate, as I showed you over here, there is a whole place where you can reflect your TCS certificate. You get Form 27D and you can file the details over here.
Yes, thank you. So you have to fill in the details. Okay. Next.
Yes, it is there. The provision for TCS certificate is there. If you have a TCS certificate, you can claim.
Okay.
And it is already showing in your 26 AS, no?
Yes, it is mentioned so.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope that the query is cleared. Another question. I am a teacher in one school and taking private tuition, income up to rupees 5 lakh annually. Till now, my CA was filling the form. She was filling in ITR 5, but I am confused between ITR 1 and ITR 5. Which is correct one for me?
Now, in this case, since she is employed also and she is doing business also, ITR 1 may, it is very clear that you should be salaried only, and there is only one house property and some other sources. If you have income from business, ITR 1 is not the option for you. You have to go for ITR 4 or 5.
So ITR 5, as he was already doing, I think that is the one. Maybe they can go with it. Is it mandatory to fill up e-return filing by CA? I think
Not
No, I
mandatory.
really
That is
wish
why
to
we
say,
have shown.
no, I would really wish to say yes over here, but it is not. You can file it yourself.
self.
But if you need our services, we are
That
always
is
ready
why
to help you.
that is where we are showing the demo that
Yes.
in case if your pattern of income is not very complex, you yourself can file your returns.
Yeah, that is the whole session about how we
You can file your own return. You can file your own return.
Yes.
You
True.
need to go to a CA only when you need to get your books audited. Only if you require
Yeah.
audit, it is mandatory to go to a CA. Otherwise, you can file your return yourself.
Okay. When will we get this Form 16? I think it is given by the employer.
Yeah, the employer will provide you Form 16. You have to take it up with your employer. He's supposed to provide, rather he should have already provided, because the date of filing was earlier. Now, fortunately, it has got extended, but he should have already provided.
Okay. Next question. How to claim tax deduction for 1 day salary which was given to Chief Minister Relief Fund?
For any deduction in, sorry, you want to go, ma'am?
Yeah, you continue, ma'am.
So for any donation given, maybe 1 day salary, 2 day salary, whatever amount, for any amount of donation, you need to get an 8 Yeah, I hope the link is visible.
Yeah.
So it is over here, this sheet, 8IG. Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
I hope it is clear.
Yeah. If my name is second or third in the bank account, then also we have to add bank details?
Second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yes.
If your name is there in the bank account, you add your name. Because certain people have a bank account with the minors, you know. You want to accumulate some money for your children. So you keep, you know, depositing some chinty amount also in that. And you happily forget that that account exists for income tax purpose. So that account exists and the interest in that account is also taxable in your hand. So please mind that.
Okay. Next question is for reference. Can we see our last year's Excel sheet? From where can we download it? I think they are asking for the filled one last year so that it can act as a reference for them for this year.
So when you log in, instead of downloading the form, there is another option of online filing the returns. If you file it online, your pre-filled form will be available in front of you.
Okay.
So if you log in, instead of going to downloads, you have to go to your account and there you get the option. And if you file the returns online, e-file your returns. When you select that, you have the option of e-filing the return. And when you select that, you will get your pre-filled data.
So I hope that solves the query.
I hope that is clear.
Yes.
I think it is very much clear. How to upload after filling the form?
Yes.
So in this particular case, now say for example, we have validate and generate XML. I hope that is visible. So
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
so generate XML. Validation is done for the purpose of the verification whether all the data which is entered is correct or not. So that will automatically, it will reflect if there are some red columns which you have left blank, it will automatically reflect that this data is incomplete, this data is incomplete, and you have to do all those corrections. And once everything is fine, it will show that this sheet seems to be okay. And once you get that message, you will have to generate XML. Now generate XML करके एक फाइल क्रिएट होता है, वो फाइल वहीं पे सेव होगा जहाँ पे ये एक्सेल शीट आपने सेव किया होगा. ये जो ITR 1 फॉर्म आप जहाँ भी सेव करके रखेंगे, उसी फाइल में, उसी फोल्डर में वो जनरेट XML वाला फाइल आके सेव हो जाएगा. फिर वो आपको अपलोड करना है. जो ई फाइल ऑफ रिटर्न आप करोगे उसमें अपलोडिंग XML का ऑप्शन होता है. एक होता है ऑनलाइन फिलिंग, एक होता है अपलोडिंग XML. So upload XML आप select करोगे and then you will simply attach that file.
Okay, so I hope it is.
XML is basically, I can see there is a question on what is XML. Actually, this Excel sheet is huge. You can see there are a lot of functions in this, each and every sheet, each and every cell. So this file is basically a huge file. Even you will understand once you download it. So even if you try to save, it takes few seconds. This is the shortest form which is there. If you go to ITR 4.5, there are another huge forms. Okay, so this form itself is very huge. So if you try to upload it like that only, it will take a lot of space and a lot of data. So this is some, you can say, a way out which has been found out, that the data is converted into XML format. XML is another kind of data format. So you have to generate into XML. Generate XML, convert your Excel into XML, it converts your Excel into XML, and then we have to upload that XML file.
Basically, we can say to compress the data, it is done, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
A lot of questions here. Can you please explain provision of perquisite tax? If I take a housing loan of 18 lakhs from my employer, what will be the tax? What will be the tax liability for the same?
Yes. So perquisite is a very, very broad topic. We had covered it in our earlier webinar. On our on our YouTube link, the entire video is there. You can please check out from that. It's a very vast topic.
Yes, it definitely is. So I'm sure you can refer to that video. Next question. I received JRF amount from central government for pursuing my PhD from last 4 months and never filled a return before. Guide me in this regard. Which head will this income form part of?
Can you repeat the question, Preeti ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. The person is receiving, you can say, income or JRF amount, the stipend that we normally called it for JRF from the central government for pursuing PhD. So this particular income will form under which head? Probably that is the question. That is salary or other income.
I guess it will be other sources. Because for salary, there has to be employer-employee relationship. If there is no employer-employee relationship, then in that case, it will be other sources.
Yes, it will be other sources. Okay, I think we can take one more question. Can we?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
After how many days refund will get after filling the form? 2-3 questions.
So,
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So return is generally processed automatically. Earlier, it used to take a couple of years, but now it has almost come down to a couple of months, sometimes even a couple of days. So if you're lucky enough, then a couple of days, it should be there.
But there is no fixed period. There is no fixed term.
For filing the return and for interest and penalties, there is a fixed timeline. For return and assessment, yet there is no fixed timeline. Yeah.
I think the second question in that particular message is already clear how to upload it. So we can take up some other question if at all is there. XML.
So I think there is this question before the due date, how many times can I file my return? So the first time you file your return, it is going to be an original return. After that, you can revise as many times to your heart's content. It will be called a revised return. As many times as you want.
Revised return.
It will be a revised return.
Original is only once.
Original is the first time you file your return. After that, as many times you want to file, even before due date or even after due date. After due date also, you can keep revising as many times as you want.
Okay, I hope that clears that doubt as well. Can you please? Yes, definitely. We'll be sharing the link of the video soon. I am a new employee. The next question. Joined in June 2020. Do I also need to file the ITR 1 form?
June 2020. Yes, your employer will give you a salary certificate, no? You get a form 16
but,
if you're...
June 2020 is assessment year 21-22.
But he will file in the next year, no, not this year, not in the year 2021. So
not
this I would like to clarify again. Yeah, please remember your ITR form is for assessment year. It is not for it is not for financial year. It is for assessment year. So when we say assessment year 2021, it means we are talking about your income and your investments and everything about the year 1920. So this return that we are filing is for the income of your 1920, 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020. This concept has to be clear, assessment year and previous year.
Okay, so you will be in this particular case, he will be filing the return next year.
Next year, not this year.
One more question. Is long-term capital loss on equity shares can be carried forward for set-off in next year?
In this form, we cannot do any long-term losses. There is no capital gain in Sahaj 1.
There is no capital gain here, yeah.
There are provisions which are there, which we will discuss in other ITRs that we will do. Because we are not touching upon business and profession and capital gain right now.
Okay, so I think we have covered all the questions. Thank you so much, Zaina ma'am and Komal ma'am, for answering the questions. The feedback link participants has already been posted in the chat box. You can fill in the feedback form. Now I would like to call upon Vice Principal and Head of Department of Accountancy and Financial Management, Professor Sandesha Shetty, to give a formal vote of thanks. Sandesha, sir.
Yeah. Preeti ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks. I take this opportunity to thank Chairman, Powai Education Committee, Shri C.A. Shankar V. Shetty, for inaugurating this workshop and addressing our participants. I thank our Principal Sir, Dr. Sridhara Shetty, for his constant support in organizing this workshop. My sincere thanks goes to Vice Principal, Junior College, Pratibha Ma'am, for arranging Zoom to organize this workshop. I extend my gratitude to the resource persons of today's workshop, CA Zainab Rangwala and Professor Komal Tiwari, for your excellent workshop. I'm sure all the participants are enriched with this great workshop. I acknowledge the support of Vice Principal Dr. Vijay Santosh Ma'am, Department Teachers Professor Virendra Singh and Professor Preeti Matharu, Professor Swati Shetty and Professor Ashish Navik in organizing this webinar. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants for your active participation in this workshop. Thank you one and all. Over to you, ma'am. So at sharp 6:30, we are going to end our workshop. As we started at 5 o'clock, we are ending at 6 o'clock, 6:30.
6:30, sharp at 6:30.
Over to you.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you everyone for making this event a grand success. Thank you so much, participants. Thank you so much, teachers, principals, sir, Shankar, sir, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Dear participants, do fill in the feedback form. It has been posted in the chat box. Don't forget to fill the feedback form. Please fill the feedback form and then you may leave the meeting.
Thank you, Sandesh sir, for giving us this opportunity.
So much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Participants, please note certificate will be mailed to you within 1 week. Participants, please note, certificate will be mailed to you within 1 week.